On the occasion of WWE reinstating the brand extension, we here at PWF Empire have commissioned our very own fantasy draft. How would the respective rosters of Raw and SmackDown look if we were calling the shots? Well, you're about to find out. But first, here's how it's gonna go down. PWF Empire Live co-creator Charlie returns for one night only to draft superstars on behalf of the SmackDown brand. And yours truly will be representing Monday Night Raw. 2 separate coin tosses will determine the fate of the WWE Championship and the midcard titles. More on that later. Including the champions, each brand has 11 draft picks to make from a pool that includes WWE's main roster and the NXT brand. With a few important things to note. This draft is exclusively for male superstars. Rather than being drafted as individuals, established tag teams will be drafted as a unit. Just to make things a lot less complicated, because I know, for example, if it comes to American Alpha and he chooses Chad Gable, I'm choosing Jason Jordan because he pissed me off in picking Chad Gable.
And then we both fucking lose. Like,
yeah.
And nobody wins.
And finally, The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar are exempt from the 2016 PWF Empire draft.
We decided neither of us wanted to tell Brock Lesnar that he had to work for us, so we're gonna, let him do his own thing.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar is gonna do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Like, we're doing it for The Undertaker out of respect. We're doing it for Brock Lesnar out of fear.
I'm not walking up to him and saying, here's your contract, take it or leave it, because I don't want to be the one that has to leave it.
Speaking of that, he just did an interview the other day talking about he didn't give a shit what Stephanie said. So, I mean, we do have something from real life to, connect that back to,
And if he don't give a shit about what she says, then he really don't give a fuck what we say.
Exactly.
I hope to build a roster of talent that will provide as much of a complete performance as humanly possible. I want to focus on some good mic work. I want versatility as far as, the role that they play. I want the ability to have some great in-ring action, the ability to turn guys back and forth, to maybe put on some characters that aren't necessarily heel or face. They can kind of work in both ways. So definitely looking for some good diversity throughout the roster.
Looking over the roster that I envision for my show, I hope to achieve a roster that is big on characters. You guys know I'm a big story guy. I love talking about character development and what makes a person tick. And I am looking for those complete performers as well. I'm looking for someone who has charisma, not just on the mic, but also charisma in the way that they move. They have a certain swagger about them in the ring, and they're big on psychology, and they're able to tell a story in the ring and get people invested in the action and also with, like I said, the story. I'm a big story guy, and when it comes to character development and advancing storylines, that's something that I hope to achieve with my roster. Now, with that being said, got a good old nickel here. I'll give you the choice. Heads or tails?
Heads. Freaking
heads.
Nickel,
really? I couldn't find a quarter. It was either this or a penny.
You know how easy it is to find a quarter? I got one right here. But I don't want to flip it because that's too much pressure. So you go ahead and flip your nickel.
Okay. You say heads?
I say heads.
And we are flipping right now to decide the fate of the WWE Championship. I should put this in like slow motion or something.
And
put some like dramatic music. The WWE Championship.
Okay.
Okay, heads. I fucking dropped it. Hold on.
God, you're so bad.
How did it fly all the way over here? It's tails! It's tails. I don't know if you can see that.
There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to see that.
It's tails. Trust me. It is tails. Okay. Now, it's up to me to decide whether I get the WWE Championship and Dean Ambrose, or I give it to you. And him to you. Now, I've had my issues with Dean Ambrose, but I look at him as a very talented performer, and I look at him as a diamond in the rough. With a bit of polishing, he could be a great asset to anyone's brand. With that being said,
but
Charlie, I know you're going to do an amazing job with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I already typed him into my roster. That's what I was wondering what I was typing over here. I was typing in Dean Ambrose next to Charlie.
Congratulations, Charlie. Dean Ambrose, your first pick. How are you thinking about this?
I got that Shield lineage. Moving on.
Okay, well, that means that I actually get to make my first pick in the 2016 PWF Empire draft.
You better not screw me over here. I had a plan.
All of a sudden, I'm feeling a lot of pressure right now because I was expecting to lose. And, man, shit. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I look over the roster in WWE, and one guy stands out to me. And when I say WWE, I mean WWE and NXT. Well, there are a few guys who stand out, but this one guy in particular, I would put him as the best overall performer in WWE, bar none.
He's you say what
great in the ring. He has great skill. And the performance that I saw he put on at Money in the Bank, it was, for lack of a better word, phenomenal. For Monday Night Raw, my official first pick in the 2016 PWF Empire Draft is AJ Styles.
I hate you. He was my first pick. That was my guy. I'm already crossing number one on the Charlie Big board right off the board. Not even a fucking... Yeah, so...
Hey.
You did that on purpose. That's because I told you my thoughts on AJ Styles last week when we spoke.
No, see, that's not it, because I remember you've told me, and I actually told you this when you told me that you have been thinking that about AJ Styles. Like, he's been on the precipice of you naming him as your, like the greatest in-ring performer of all time. And I guess that's something, I just said it. Charlie now believes that AJ Styles is the greatest in-ring performer of all time. But you told me that a long time ago, that you were considering him for that. And it never really clicked for me until he solidified who he was, until he made me believe that he was phenomenal. And yeah, I'm a big story guy. I'm really deep into psychology and things like that. And that performance that he put on at Money in the Bank, that was great stuff. And the attitude that he displays in the ring, it's just, man, I got to have that guy on my roster.
And if you're looking at this year, you got a guy, I think, that right now should be the front runner for Wrestler of the Year and Most Improved. Because the work that he's done in promos the past couple months has been, like, if you look at the AJ Styles standard and look where he's been the past few months, it's to say night and day is just way too cliche, because that gap is huge. For a guy that, everyone said, like, is never going to cut a WWE promo. Like, there's a good sample size now of, like, this dude.
And there was actually a point in time where it seemed as if they were intentionally keeping him off of the mic. And now when they give him mic time and he does what he does out there, anybody would love to have him, but I do in this case. So, yeah. It's on you.
All right, well, my strategy switched up a little bit, but, I had a backup plan. And with Dean Ambrose being on my roster, I see that I have, at bare minimum, a guy solidified with the crowd. I have the current world champion, so I have the guy who's solidified as the top guy right now. So, you're going to have to get a new world champion, and maybe he's going to be the secondary world champion kind of thing. I got a solidified guy, so I can take a risk, and I can bring in someone that maybe not everybody knows. And I can make a statement with this draft. And I'm going to dip into the NXT poll and take Shinsuke Nakamura with my first pick. If you talk about AJ Styles, the best all-around performer, if that's the case, I got 1B right on my roster right now. Those two best in the world, I'm not letting you get them both. So I'm taking Shinsuke Nakamura first selection here.
and you hate me, guess what? I fucking hate you too. Because that was, I kid you not, I'm looking at my list right now. Shinsuke Nakamura was second. And I don't know if I stopped myself before I said it, but when I was talking about how AJ Styles is the best overall performer in WWE, bar none. I don't know if I specifically said bar none, but I was thinking in my head, should I say bar none or not? And the reason why I was pulling back on possibly not saying that is because of Shinsuke Nakamura. So
yeah, when you look at what this guy's doing in NXT right now, he had a match with Buddy Murphy in on an episode of NXT, and it was just like watching this guy have a match with Buddy Murphy on a standard TV show. You just like, he's got a guy who's claimed to the show is the tag guy. He's not really a singles wrestler, and he goes out there and he put on a heck of a show. Like, he's just, you have to watch him no matter who he's in the ring with. Everything, must see guy. So I'm not letting you get AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. No way.
If you know my history on YouTube, there are a few things that you know about me, and I'm not even going to tip you off before I say this name. But once I say this name, you'll realize why I'm laughing internally right now. Because it's kind of crazy that I've put myself into this position where I've done this. With the second pick for the Raw brand that I'll be representing in the 2016 PWF Empire draft, I'm going to dip into that NXT pond as well and select Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why I say it's funny is because two fucking TNA guys right there. And way back in the day, I had my little thing going on with TNA. And yeah, there's a lot of history built up there. But it's just something about these two and their current incarnations under that WWE umbrella that there's some magic there. They've redefined their careers. And AJ Styles, he did it before he came to WWE. So he's continuing on the path that he built for himself in New Japan. But when it comes to Samoa Joe, I looked at that guy in TNA, and I would always hope that they got it right for him. Because I looked this big-ass, badass Samoan, this guy can wreck shop. He's big, and as JBL so infamously says, he says it so much to the point where I'm fucking tired of it at this point, but it's true in this case. He has that very rare combination of strength and speed. The agility that Samoa Joe has, it's something that someone his size should not have. It's out of this friggin' world. And the way in which he's booked down in NXT, he's short on words, big on action, just great stuff. He, at this stage in his career, still as great as I've ever seen him. And him on the main roster, the sky's the limit. There's so much that you can do with this guy. And yeah, my second pick is Samoa Joe.
So we both had Nakamura, AJ, and Samoa Joe ranked 1, 2, and 3 in some order. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. That should tell you something right there.
I told you, great minds think alike. Don't pick this next guy. Because I took a risk. I was going back and forth between two people on who I wanted to have this slot, and it could have easily gone to the other guy. Don't pick this guy, okay? Don't pick this guy.
Okay. So, I'm looking at...
This is your third pick here?
Yes. I'm looking at... I got Dean Ambrose and Shinsuke Nakamura. So, what I'm thinking here is, let's find somebody that can work with them, make a nice fresh matchup that we haven't necessarily seen in a prolonged feud. Nice styles to go with it. And quite frankly, I need a heel. And I'm going to have to turn somebody to make this happen. But I'm going to make it happen. Because I'll be damned if I let you go through with two badass Samoans on the same goddamn show. Because I'm going to go ahead and pick the guy, Roman Reigns.
Okay.
To turn heel there, got Dean Ambrose, Shinsuke Nakamura and him, did interesting feud. They beat the shit out of each other in a match, so got him, put him on the SmackDown brand, little shake up a character, do that guy some good. Like that guy.
Okay, so with my previous pick, it was kind of like a tit for tat situation. You know, you picked an NXT guy. I picked an NXT guy. You picked the guy from the Shield, and you're talking about turning him. Shit. Sounds good to me. With my third pick in the PWF Empire draft, representing the Raw brand, I select Seth Rollins. There was a point in time where he was my favorite in-ring performer in WWE because there's something so dynamic about his style in the ring, and it just begs for you to cheer for that guy. He wrestles as if he doesn't know he's a heel, and he's attempting to elicit cheers and adoration from the crowd. Why not play into that? Especially seeing as in the year 2015, I got really tired of Seth Rollins' character and freshening him up in a sense where you turn him face, not the white meat baby face, but just a face who is able to express a bit of cockiness. And you put Seth Rollins in a feud with Samoa Joe, a top heel on the show. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles? Are you freaking kidding me? Magic, money, throwing money at the damn screen. That seems like a pretty big match to me. You send a cocky face Seth Rollins at a heel, just bastard AJ Styles. That's good stuff here. So, you know what? Picking Seth Rollins.
I talked about wanting versatility, complete performers. Dip right into the J-Dub school of cliches for the guy who, when he is at his best, is the best, and he will be returning off injury within a short period of time. We're going to inject SmackDown with a little bit of venom when we get Randy Orton on the program.
Why you always do this to me? I fucking forgot about Randy Orton, and then you had the gall, the unmitigated gall to use my phrase, my saying for Randy Orton when you picked him.
Yeah, can't go wrong here. Face, heel, Randy Orton versus Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, do you want Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns? Go to that well again. Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose hasn't really been done. You know, some freshness, you know. Versatility, mic work, complete performer. You got the guy right there.
Okay.
I'm a little annoyed that you forgot him because I could have waited longer like I did with Cody Rhodes back in the day, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's a classic moment in PWF Empire history. Shit, was that before it was PWF Empire? I don't remember, but yeah, that's a classic moment nonetheless.
Yeah, that was way back in the day.
Okay, so here's the thing. I know I'm probably making a mistake with this one, and I don't want to necessarily say that this person is a mistake. It's just that maybe he hasn't been on your mind quite yet, because I took a few risks making these last two picks, because I was thinking that you were thinking about this guy, but clearly you weren't, and he's still out there. Me being a big character guy, this guy is amazing. He is one of the very few characters in WWE that I can actually say is three-dimensional. He acts in character every single second you see him on screen, and the character in which he plays, he's a psychopath, sociopath, whatever name you want to attach to it. I look at him, and the feud in which he's in right now with a person who he would consider his best friend, it's great. And we've seen a lot of great stuff from him in WWE on the main roster and down in NXT, and I look forward to that continuing on the Raw brand. With the fourth pick in the PWF Empire draft, I select Kevin Owens.
You know how I said I was mad that you forgot about Randy Orton because I would have waited? Yeah, that was the guy I would have taken instead.
Remember a few picks ago when I was like, don't pick him. I know you're going to pick. I was talking about Kevin Owens. I didn't want to risk it any longer. Yeah, and there's so much that you can do with Kevin Owens. He's one of those types of guys that I think he could not necessarily play a face, but just like flip so that you don't care if the crowd cheers him or anything like that. And he's great in the ring, and I talked about that character, that three-dimensional character of his, that segment from Monday Night Raw where he was talking to Sami Zayn with absolutely no guilt whatsoever when there's not anybody on the planet who can say that Kevin Owens wasn't in the wrong. And the only person that can say he wasn't in the wrong, is Kevin Owens. And that layer to his character to where he could say something like that and it makes sense, but immediately he's spouting off bullshit, that's great. Because that shows a very flawed person, and I like to see that in characters. So, yeah, a flawed human being. That's what Kevin Owens is. And just because you have the opportunity to create and do things beforehand with a creative team and you know where things are going, it doesn't necessarily mean everyone has to be perfect. And the imperfection of Kevin Owens and who he is and how he operates within that WWE universe, that's what makes him so awesome.
So the last pick before the mid-card championships here, why not spice it up a little bit? Let's throw some curveballs. Let's get an interesting pick. Why don't we start to build a tag team division here? And we're going to get a damn entertaining one when we put the first tag team taken in this here draft as a couple of guys who I think are as legit as it gets, as entertaining as it gets, just about as all around as it gets. Chad Gable, and I know his name now, Jason Jordan, American Alpha. Doesn't get much better than that. You're talking two dudes perfectly meshed together. They can go out. They're going to, there's stuff with the Revival, stealing the show every time. I've seen that match 3 times now with a live event I went to. It was damn near the best match of the show on every show. Versatility, you can, their style is so unique. It's just, you're not going to get much better in the tag team division than American Alpha.
Yeah, and the dynamic that exists between Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, it's wonderful. You would think that they had known each other for their entire lives, the way in which they interact with each other and how they're on one page. Like, they just move in unison in this amazing way. And the matches that they've had with the Revival, of the ones that I was able to see, they've been some of my favorite matches of the year. So, great pick. Great pick.
If I do say so myself.
I could be real petty right now. And I could choose the Revival. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm looking elsewhere. And this is only something that's possible, and I'll fully admit to it. It's only possible in the PWF Empire draft. Whatever happens on WWE TV, I know damn well this guy is not going to go this late in the draft. So you could look at this as a possible steal, especially seeing as I have such a high opinion of this man because he's great. I've said before that type of energy that he brings to the ring, it is unmatched in WWE. When it comes to the hype, when it comes to raising the stakes, you can't find anyone better in WWE than my 5th pick in the 2016 PWF Empire Draft.
And his name is John Cena!
You don't seem too disappointed about that one.
When I tell you I didn't have him on my board, I was literally giving him to you. I did not have him on my board.
Okay, well, shit. Alrighty then.
But there's not much to, I'm not gonna say it's a bad pick. I'm going a different direction.
You want to go ahead and flip the coin on this one since you're all high and mighty with your quarter?
I'm all high and mighty with my multiple quarters. I got the quarters right behind my computer here. We're gonna go with the New York quarter, Gateway to Freedom. Okay. Here we go.
Wait a minute, we didn't even decide who's. Yeah.
All right, you dropped yours. I didn't drop mine.
Okay, I'll choose Tails. It did me well. Well, either way, I'm going to work out in this one, so
I think either of us are going to work out in this one. These are two quality guys in a very similar role. Mm-hmm. Like you're getting an entertaining guy with a character with a solid pairing as a manager. Like there's literally no going wrong here. But anyway, we'll flip the coin anyway. So you going with Tails?
I'll go. Yeah, it did me well.
Okay, this time it's heads. I will.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
And I'm gonna pick a guy that I think just fits where my show's going better, and I'm gonna pick the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev, as my mid-card champion. Take that U.S. title. I think he fits in better with the likes of Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Shinsuke Nakamura. You also have, Rusev was the U.S. champion. American Alpha is on the show. Maybe run a Jason Jordan, Rusev feud for a little bit. That fun little deal there. So I think, it just fits in nicely there.
And I'm cool with The Miz. I've seen some great stuff out of him. And, of course, Charlie, as you know, he's really good at getting heat in the ring. So,
yes, I do know that. And, okay, I will say, that thing on Monday when Maurice just, stops saying, acting, and they, get their, Miz is just, in awe of Maurice's acting. That made Monday Night Raw worth it. That was a fantastic segment.
Yeah, The Miz is just an overall very fun guy, and when the situation calls for him to get serious, and we've seen it in, he does great at eliciting heat from the crowd, and it does wonders for whatever babyface it is that he's working with at the time. And when you really put a serious focus on that for The Miz to get that person over, we've seen in situations like Daniel Bryan, Alex Riley. Who was the other guy? Damian Sandow, Mizdow. So, yeah, if you could work The Miz into situations like that where you use him as kind of the gateway to a big babyface, I think that could work. So I'm cool with The Miz. Yeah, and if all else fails, shit, he's fun. And he's bringing Maurice, too. So, good stuff.
Yeah, we got Lana, so, hey, there's a little bit of female presence in this draft here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is round 6. And we talked about freshness, versatility, all-around performance, and I'll throw in spectacle for this pick. And we're going to dive back into... You want to talk about John Cena being a steal. We are a good 16, 17 people into this draft. And I got myself a heck of a steal.
God damn you.
Yes. So you want to talk about spectacle and versatility. Let's dive into NXT. You should be seeing him pretty soon with the real draft because Finn Balor is going to be making his WWE main roster debut as a member of the SmackDown brand. You want to talk about the Demon versus Nakamura. You want to talk about doing a Randy Orton thing, the Demon versus the Lunatic Fringe. A lot to do here. A lot of stuff to do here. And then, to do a Roman Reigns thing that I could work out at a later date because I don't really know how that would go, but that's fine. It's there. So... spectacle, performance, got it all.
Okay, so I've been following you tit for tat at this point, and I'm going to do something a little differently this time around. You look at Finn Balor and you say, spectacle. With my next pick, I don't really want a spectacle. I want a bit of simplicity. I want something that's going to take it back to the old days, with this pomp and this circumstance. I don't want any of that. I don't want any flips either. I just want fists. So with my 6th pick in the 2016 PWF Empire draft, I am going with arguably the best tag team in WWE at this point, The Revival. I almost wanted to leave them for you to get just so them and American Alpha can be on the same show because they play off of each other so well. And, it's up to debate as to whether, which one is top or, but both of them are amazing teams.
Well, in the 7th round here, let's continue that debate as to who is the best team in WWE because I'm going back to the tag team going back to entertainment values, just uniqueness. And I'm not letting you get these guys as your baby faces for your tag team division because Enzo and Big Cass will be making their way to the SmackDown brand.
Can I just say at this point, I had my ideal draft. We're making 10 picks plus the mid-card champion pick. All of my people are fucking going now. Every last one of my people are going, so I'm in uncharted territory at this point. So I just took a look over my roster so far, and I think I'm starting to tip to one side. I'm going to need to pick someone who's going to fill in the ranks over on the face side. And when I look over the WWE roster and see who's available, there's one guy that really sticks out for me. I look at this guy, and he's working. He is a workhorse. He's doing what he can to establish himself with the crowd. And for what he is good at, he's great. And that's in the ring. And I think that matters. And I think that the other things, we could possibly work on them to deliver a more complete character. But the foundation on which we have to build is very solid. Very solid at this point. And with my 7th pick in the PWF Empire draft, I'm going to pick the Swiss Superman, Cesaro.
You gotta stop taking all my next picks. It's gonna have to become a rule.
You cheated when you picked Randy Orton, so all bets are off.
That was the straw on the camel's back, huh? Alright, well, as we move into round 8 here, I think that I'm going to need my own workhorse, my own guy, my own project to establish with the crowd, my own babyface side. I'm going to go the world-traveled veteran, a guy that I think is working his way up the ranks. I think by the time this draft happens, we'll have solidified pretty well with this current feud, as you discussed earlier. We're going to go with Samuel Zayn. And I call him Samuel. It's nice official.
Oh my god, how did I forget him? Holy shit, I'm sitting here and I'm talking all of this stuff about baby faces. If I had seen, you know what? I saw Ryback's name, because in an alphabetical order, Ryback comes right before Sami Zayn, and I saw Ryback's name, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, and I kept scrolling up. If I saw Sami Zayn on the fucking list, I would have picked Sami Zayn above Cesaro. Damn. See, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So since all of the guys that I really needed to have on my roster at this point, I either have them or they've already been taken by Charlie, I'm at a point right now where I could start a bit of experimenting. And, making some risky picks or picks that they may not necessarily be right now, but they could be assets to me in the future. And when I look at the future, you have to look for the place in which the future starts. You have to look at where, you come into the gate. You have to look at, what am I looking for here? You have to look at the breaking ground of WWE. And when I look at the breaking ground, or when I look at breaking ground specifically, there's one guy that really stands out to me. And that show did wonders for him. And I think that if we were to book him more like he was on that show, and not like they've been booking him since he moved to the main roster, we could be in for some good stuff. From my 8th pick in this draft, Baron Corbin.
Big fan of Baron Corbin. Just gotta get that dude on the right track.
I'm working on it. I got it.
And get him on the Hulu cut of Raw, because I watched the Hulu cut, and I haven't seen that dude since WrestleMania.
He's had like 35,000 matches with Dolph Ziggler, so...
I was going to say that I was surprised you didn't make the rule that whoever drafts Baron Corbin automatically drafts the other show for Dolph Ziggler. I know you have been, people have been losing their minds about that for you. So, round 9 here, second to last. This is tough. But I see a guy on this list that I think is usable in a multitude of ways. And we saw that on Raw with that segment that we've talked about now 3 times with this guy. He was the 3rd man in. And I think he's usable there in a bunch of other ways. Definitely great for television, great on the mic, great for hosting his own segments. Let's get some veteran presence in the locker room with Chris Jericho.
Nice pick. Chris Jericho, he's one of my favorites. You know,
That's,
looking over
the
my entire
scarf
history
is
as a wrestling
just
fan.
We need to go back in Chris Jericho's career and give him a scarf, like, for the whole time. Because something has just clicked there. And that stuff on Monday, you know, his role in that segment was very much fabulous.
Okay. Gonna make a tag team here. Or not necessarily make a tag team, but make a tag team pick. Because this team, they're already set. Some of you will be surprised that they've gone this late in the draft. But, I mean, if you look over the rosters so far, we got some talent there. And you made the pick of Enzo and Cass. You want them to be big baby faces on your roster. Taking that opportunity away from me. I think this is an opportunity for me here to establish that top babyface tag team in WWE. So with my 9th pick, or at least on the Raw brand, with my 9th pick, I am going to choose The New Day. I think a feud between them and the Revival, that would be good stuff. Especially with those clashing styles, we can get some good stuff out of a feud between Revival and New Day.
All right, we have arrived at pick number 10.
Your final pick.
Final pick. I'm looking over my roster here, and I'm trying to find what I need. Because I'm sitting here with a lunatic. I got the most charismatic wrestler in the world in Shinsuke Nakamura. I got a 6'3" badass. I got the embodiment of a sports entertainer, Randy Orton. I have a brute, a demon, an underdog, a veteran. The one thing that I'm missing here is the greatest man who ever lived. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Austin Aries out of NXT.
Austin Aries, okay. Good pick. Nice. Okay. Now, I know we said we weren't making any picks for the women's division. Would it work if I, chose somebody like Sasha Banks, Asuka, Nia Jax, and just had them wrestle men? Would that work?
I think that would cause some serious trouble with the network. So you get canceled, so I guess I automatically win, right?
So you're not buying that? Okay. See, there are a few people on this list that I want to pick, but I know as soon as other people out there see that name, the value of my list is going to drop, my roster. So I'm in a bind here.
Come on, Jay.
Shit. Okay, you know what? Fuck it, I'm doing it. I don't have anything to lose.
You're picking them. I put you in a position to do it, didn't I?
So, I talked about storylines and characters, how I'm big into stuff like that, and I've looked at this guy, and as much as I love Kevin Owens and who he is in the WWE universe, there's one specific guy that would trump the character of Kevin Owens if he was treated correctly. But the problem is, he has not been. Under the guys, or under the expertise of my team, I'm hoping. This is a big hope pick. I'm hoping that they could find some magic for this guy. And with my 10th and final pick in the PWF Empire draft, I'm going with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family.
So, let the record show that Jay just drafted Eric Rowan for his Raw brand.
You would go ahead and throw that out. I tried to just slide it in there, the Wyatt family.
I remember the gimmick. I know the gimmick. All right.
So before the draft officially began, we talked about what our hopes were with the draft and, the things that we wanted to accomplish with assembling our roster. So at this time, Charlie, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Talk about some of the challenges that you faced in this draft and if you believe that you accomplished what you wanted to.
The challenges I faced in this draft were you taking my 2 top-ranked people and or 2 of my 3 and sticking me with Dean Ambrose and then taking my top-ranked person. That was my challenge in this draft.
Well, shit, you took my second ranked person, so you got me back.
Yeah, I got you back, so that's good, that's good. But I think ultimately we accomplished what we set out to do here on SmackDown. We have a list of performers. As I look over my list here, every single star I drafted, with the exception of my mid-card champion Rusev, could double as heel or babyface. I also look at, they could, except for Sami Zayn too. I forget. Let's not turn Sami Zayn heel. Let's not do that. I look over everyone but Rusev and Sami Zayn and say they could double as the heel or the babyface. And I look at it and say that they can do so with little character change, but subtle things that will make them just that much better. And so I think I have a lot of guys. Shinsuke Nakamura is a guy that is going to put on a spectacle of a show. You have the Demon option on there. If Dean Ambrose can capture some of that lunacy that people want him to have, that is an option. We got Roman Reigns, who, as much as people may not love him, is as moldable as a piece as you can have. I think that if you get out of the mindset of just top face with that guy, you can make him into just an absolute force of an asset to a show. Guys like Randy Orton, just Chris Jericho, just usable pieces and also good star potential there. And then a tag team division anchored around American Alpha and Enzo and Cass doesn't hurt. So I think we got a complete show. I think we have a list of complete performers and unique characters. And I don't think, on my show, I don't think you're going to ever see, with at least the guys we drafted, two guys walk through the curtain that you say are alike. And that was a big thing for me.
Well, it's pretty interesting that you throw that out there, because I'm looking at my roster, and I don't think that you could say that for any of the guys on this list either. With a turn for Seth Rollins and in a direction where he's able to get those cheers from the crowd and he goes towards his natural alignment, I think that's a great move for him. You have John Cena in a land of newness, and him having to go through and move through the roster with all of these guys in this, like, a legitimate established new era in WWE. I think that would be wonderful. You have a guy like AJ Styles. That was my first pick. He's larger than life. Samoa Joe making his way up to the main roster to wreak havoc. Kevin Owens, I talked about how amazing his character is and just the great things that you could possibly do with him. And there's that versatility there as well with Kevin Owens. If you want to stick to him being a heel, that works. Him being just a disgusting son of a bitch, I'm cool with that. If you want to move him more towards an angle where he's like maybe a tweener or an anti-hero, he could play that role as well. Cesaro, Baron Corbin, I look forward to them developing more and unlocking the potential that I know rests within them. And overall, some good stuff. I said I was very big on characters and stories. I think that with the roster that I have assembled here, there's a lot to work with. There's a lot of things that are fresh and new, a lot of different matchups on the card. And yeah, to echo what Charlie said, I don't think that you'll have two guys to walk through that curtain and are alike at all. And I didn't give any props to the Revival. Definitely got to give props to the Revival because I think they're fucking amazing. Their old school style, that's great stuff. Go back to being, a traditional heel in the sense that you get heat from the crowd differently. In a way that people don't normally get it these days. So, yeah, I think we're good. I'm good. So, if you could review my roster, what would you say?
I say you're going to have John Cena beating a lot of people. And people are tired of that, Jay.
So you're just going to try to tank my whole fucking roster with just John Cena?
It'll work.
Well, you have Roman Reigns, and we know that WWE is
I played the wrong card.
On having WWE is committed on having Roman Reigns get over and dominate on TV by hook or by damn crook. So,
okay, we both have the issue then.
Okay,
it's a valid point.
It's a little different in my case. I mean,
it's not different in your case.
I was about to say something, but that's my homie, so I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that.
I wasn't even talking about that, but since you brought it up, I mean, that's different too. my guy can cut promos.
Hey! That is uncalled for.
Looking over your roster, it's fucking good. It really is. Like, I'm not even going to go there with the Roman Reigns. Like, that's my homie. So, you said that he was moldable. That's going to be a big asset to you because there are so many different things that you can do with this guy, whether it be a heel turn, a full-fledged heel turn, or making him ride that line that he rode in the feud with AJ Styles, which is one of my favorite feuds of the year. So, I think that's a big asset to your roster. And Nakamura, that dude has it. Whatever it is. It's undefined, but he has it. If you could take the energy that he brings to the ring and sell it, you'd be a rich man. You definitely would be.
Yes.
So.
And it's interesting because it's interesting how that coin flip worked out because we can pretty much tell by the way we talked that one of us was ending up Dean Ambrose Nakamura and one of us was ending up AJ Styles Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's interesting because it was like we were both just like deferring on that Dean Ambrose. We were like, no, we got plans here. Like,
mm-hmm.
You know, it's like,
yeah. So, question: would you be willing to make any trades? I'm not saying that I'm proposing one. Just,
are you putting your foot down?
No, I'm not saying that I'm proposing one. Just I just wanted to throw it out there.
I would be willing to possibly trade Chris Jericho for AJ Styles.
Hell no. Fuck no.
Okay, then I'm not willing to make any trades.
Okay. Well, since you want to insult me, let's do the Wyatt family for Nakamura.
I mean, in theory, Eric Rowan could have been enough. But you were sending the other guys too, so no.
God, I can't escape it. Alrighty. That's it for this draft special. Love it if you guys let us know who you think has the better roster, whether it be Charlie with SmackDown or me with Raw. And, yeah, go ahead and let us know. Any closing comments?
You can let us know by... I have the better Sasha Banks shirt. So that's another asset to SmackDown.
Well, guess what? Boom. Where's your picture?
My picture? I don't know.
I mean, I have two. Like, if we're not gonna.
I mean, you wanted to see, but you're an underachiever. You wanted to have three, but you didn't get to the line fast enough.
Oh my God! Shade! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Everything I've ever wanted with Sasha Banks on it, I've got.
You motherfucker! Oh my God, man! That's it for this PWF Empire draft. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out. Other than getting into fights with room service, what have you been up to lately?
Nothing much. Just working, trying not to get into any more fights or room service. The whole deal.
Do you think we should share that story with everyone now? Because we haven't told that story yet.
We probably should. We're probably not going to get another chance to tell said story.
So,
see, I don't even remember it because I was so tired.
I remember it. This is one of the fucking craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. So, we are in Dallas for WrestleMania. It's me, it's Charlie, and it's another member of PWF Empire, Justin from PWTR. We're leaving out of WrestleMania, and we're in the parking lot, and it took us at the very least an hour just to get out of the parking lot, right?
Just to find Justin from his goddamn nosebleed seat.
Yeah, so it took us ages to find Justin. Then it took us so friggin' long, I kid you not, just to get out of the parking lot. So by the time we get back to the hotel, Justin and I
did
record.
See Stone Cold's pickup truck though, right? That's a good.
Yeah, we're in the parking lot, and Justin we all see this big ass black pickup truck, and I forgot what Justin specifically said, but
It
he's
was
like,
like a decal it was on. It was like Stone Cold on the back window, and Justin's like, "Is that Stone Cold's truck?" Like, yeah, he paid to park. And,
yeah, fucking 100,000 wrestling fans coming to WrestleMania. Stone Cold Steve Austin, arguably the greatest of all time, one of the most popular WWE superstars in history, paid, what was it, like $50 fucking to park with wrestling fans.
yeah, and then sit in the traffic on the way out.
So yeah, that was a little story, but yeah, so it took us forever just to get back to the hotel. Justin and I, we record the WrestleMania review, and Charlie is like passed out on the couch. All of us are dead, but Justin and I, we're still up, and that's a whole nother story with Justin there. I'm not even going to get into that one. But
gotta save something for some point. I'm sure we'll do something eventually.
Yeah, so we'll save that one, but I'm hungry, and Charlie, he was driving. He did not stop anywhere for us to eat on the way back to the hotel, so I was like, you know what?
Well, I was, given the fact that I was passed out on the couch, I was very, I admittedly completely ignored you and went, they're going to have to, like, tell me somewhere, because I'm not, I'm not willingly doing this.
So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to order room service. It's high as hell, but my stomach is growling. It feels like it's attacking me from the inside out. So I'm just going to order room service. Charlie is knocked out on the couch. He has no idea what the hell is going on. So we, it takes a while for room service to get there. Room service finally gets there, and I forget the exact sequence of events. It's just that room service, they were pretty loud because, you know, they have the cart and they have to, like, push the cart over the threshold of the door, and it's going over the bumps on the floor and stuff like that. So they get into the room, and the door, I know what it is now. The door slammed behind room service. And as the door slammed behind me, I hear a fucking ruckus. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I turn around. I kid you not. Charlie is standing by the fucking couch at this point, and I turn around to see him jump into fighting stance like this. And it's so funny because I look at him and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I look at Justin. Justin looks at Charlie, looks at me, looks at the room service lady, and we're just sitting there doing like this, playing fucking tennis with our eyes and stuff, and I forgot what happened, like what we said to make the room service lady know that we weren't fucking crazy or something like that. But all I know is we got our food, she left, and the minute that door closed, we all bursted out laughing. That was one of the fucking craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
When I realized what was going on, I just dropped back down and just passed right back up. So I don't even know what happened afterwards. I didn't even see the lady.
Yeah, we laughed at you. That's what happened afterwards. That shit was so crazy. He just was like, he was ready to fight the room service lady.
Yeah, but hey. And it's that's complete. It's like too stupid to make up. So that's
man, that was insane. But